Okay, everything looks alright. Although I'm still got this cough sickness thing, so we'll see how that goes over the next couple of days. It's really damn cold in Sydney at the moment. I am going to start with Op25 number 1 as normal, and then I will go from there, but I'm covering Op10 number 2, Op10 number 4, 9 and 12, and then also Op25 number 5. So I have to get through all of those today. I should be streaming for about 3 hours, around that. Okay, just going to warm up with 25 number 1. Very slowly. Hands are still cold, so I'm going to keep working on this one. Mostly the middle section. That's where middle to end is where all the problems can come up. I'm not going to increase the tempo that much at the moment because I'm still not warmed up. Some of these movements, like large horizontal movements, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time on those. Same problems. Just gonna keep eating my breakfast. Apologies. I'm up a bit late this morning. Okay. Hello, hey guys, how's it going? I've just started the stream, so welcome. By started I mean I started like 14 minutes ago, but this is what, day 17 or something of the stream. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free. Or if you have been here before, I'm sorry. I'm really bad at remembering names, so I see names crop up and I'm like, I think I've seen that one before, but I'm not entirely sure. EGSW and piano hated? You have to explain that one. EGSW music. Anyway, how's it going? I'm just currently warming up my hands at the moment. I use Op25 #1 to warm myself up because it's very chill. Doesn't strain you, and it gets everything moving, like arms, wrist rotation, things like that, while not putting too much strain on your fingers or on your muscles. So I might just run it through a little bit quicker and then I'll move on to something else. Unfortunate. Okay. Hello. Hi Gemma27. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. If you have not been before, if you have, welcome back. I'm just about to move on to a different etude. I'm thinking about maybe Opus 10 #2 or Opus 10 #4 maybe. if anyone has a preference, let me know. I have to do both of them anyway at some point. Give me a sec. But I'm slightly concerned because it's kind of cold here, so my muscles are still not as warmed up as I would like. Maybe this one. Okay. So this is Opus 10 number 2. I will see how this goes. I might spend some time on it now and then come back to it a little bit later. So with this one, my aim is just basically at the moment keep individuality in the weak fingers. Make sure I'm not putting too much emphasis on the the 1 and the 2 thumb and the second finger, and keeping everything very relaxed and very light. It's not too fast at the moment. Just going to do a slow play through. Might add the left hand in, why not? Basically, I just need to keep getting my fingers warmed up. They're very cold at the moment. Go slightly quicker. That is not correct. What am I doing? There we go. Okay, this page is actually going okay. I still think the worst bit is this bit in terms of being able to control it because of these very large hand expansions, very quick and large hand expansions. And then there's a couple of other traps that I still struggle with, like this one here. This one here. Let's look at this. Them. Hello, sure. How's it going? I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but welcome anyway. This particular hand position here is really awkward to do legato anyway. So that one is worth practicing quite a few times. There's also this bar I find a bit awkward, particularly that movement there. Again, my hand is not quite big enough to do that comfortably. Hello, ever got cramps from this? Yes. Yeah, this one is definitely stress-inducing. Like, that's why I really focus on playing this lightly and relaxed. Like as in, as soon as I start nursing tension, I just stop, reset, and go again. And I've accepted it's just going to be a long battle. So then a couple of Opus 25. So am I. Currently I've only got Opus 25 number 1 and 5 going, but I'll add some more soon. Number 1, 2, 5, and 12. I think those are easier ones. Oh, from Opus 25. Yep. 1, 2, 5. I don't know. I wouldn't say 5 is easy actually. The middle section of 5 to play well is quite difficult. I would say 7 is easy. The slow one of Opus 25. Opus 10, yeah, Opus 10 is generally harder than Opus 25. Except, the really nasty one in Opus 25 is obviously the thirds etude. But none of the other ones are like super standout. Yeah, Opus 10 has a lot more nasty stuff in it, I would say. Basically, Opus 10 number 1 and 2 are just nasty. They're the big culprits, but in general, it's a harder set. Number 11. Opus 25, number 11, Winter Wind. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, for sure. One of the harder ones. I don't think it's like as bad as the Opus 10 ones, like the really nasty ones from Opus 10, but it's definitely hard. But the other thing is, different people struggle with different things as well. So, yeah, that's the other side of that coin. I definitely struggle with Opus 10 number 2, as I think most people do. I don't think I've ever met a person that thinks this is not that hard. I think everyone pretty much agrees that this thing is nasty. Oh, starting to get tingly feelings. That is something I'll need to watch. Oops. Lazy. Yeah, that one there. This movement here. I think I have to slide on the B flat a bit. So when I kind of slide down to the A, my hand is just not big enough to actually do that to that comfortably. Unsure. I haven't found a good enough solution for this yet. Turkish March. I played it a long time ago. It's unfortunately, it is not part of this set. Yeah, the washing machine is definitely doing something at the moment. That's really funny. Yes, Turkish March. Well, I guess this is in the same key. Hey, not too bad. See if my hand can actually survive. It's kind of dying. It's dying. Yeah. Okay. Opus 20. Also known as Turkish March Chili. Opus 26 number 30. What's Opus 26 number 1 to 29? That's the real question. Just getting my Bluetooth pedal because I'm sick of turning pages with my hand. And the washing machine is excited again. Okay. What am I wanting to work on with this? I actually feel like I'm kind of happy with that for now. I might come back to it later. Because I don't have a lot of stamina left, and I want to sort of preserve my muscles, and not, and actually be able to keep playing productively for the next couple of hours. Okay, this is Opus 10 number 12. This one, I often do this one next to Opus 10 number 2 because I get a break basically from dealing with my right hand, my weak fingers, my right hand. Okay. left hand is definitely not warmed up. Okay, I will probably go back and actually just do some left hand work to get the feeling in my left hand that I want, basically. Because at the moment it's very stiff and it still feels cold. So this long run here, basically what I'm trying to do is find the optimal sort of wrist movement to support it. So I'm trying not to get stuck into too stiff a position. It's also forearm rotation. But it takes a while to get the groove of this one. Be good to use more body weight on right hand. Body weight on right hand, or just basically, as in throwing my arm at the keys more. Is that kind of what you mean? I'm not using pedal at the moment because I want to hear everything that's going on. Basically, I can feel it, but hearing it is also helpful. I catch one of your streams later, but bye for now. See you later. Thanks for dropping by. Yep, this is a hybrid piano, so easier if I put it in chat. You can have a look if you want. Basically, they throw the grand piano action in. I think it's Millennium 3 action, if I'm correct, and so that gets used in their high-end grand pianos. But the rest after that is digital. So you've essentially got, I would say the best of both worlds. Essentially, in a way, you've got an action that you actually like playing, and then you've got the digital functionality and benefits of the digital. Obviously, you don't have the fully acoustic sound, but the sound is very nice. I think they've, from my understanding, this one that I have, they no longer produce. they've updated it to the NV12, which is also quite a bit more expensive, a few $1,000s more expensive. I've been playing for about 35 years, so a long time. I started at like 4 something years old, so yeah, I've been playing for a long time. Basically, my backstory is I have undergraduate from Sydney Conservatorium, and then I started my master's there, and then got a government grant or whatever. That's kind of why I started the master's in Sydney, and then use that money to then go and study at Royal College in London. So I finished my master's over there, and then I went into working into education mostly as an accompanist and as a teacher, I guess, piano teacher, but mostly accompanist. And then I burnt out of the education system in Australia, essentially. So now I'm in a state of kind of reinvigorating my skills and my playing to a level I'm happy with, and then my plan is to actually be a performing musician in the coming decades, because I think it will be a useful skill as we go more and more into kind of like AI dominated jobs, world industries and things like that. The one thing that AI can't touch, obviously, is live performance. And AI is just not very creative in general. So creative industries, I think, will have a place in the coming decades. That is my thoughts. It's just that the sort of like mediocre creatives will be out of a job, I suppose, is kind of how it's going to work. Anyway, interesting discussions. But yeah, that's my bet, is in to be more useful as a live performing musician. Did you sight read the etude this fast? It took me like a month to sight read a Chopin piece. I guess I'm a quick learner because I spent so much time in the accompaniment field, like working day to day sight reading basically. So That's both a good thing and a bad thing though, because when you become more proficient at sight reading, you often become a bit lazier about actually learning the notes properly. You're just like, oh yeah, that's done, and then you're not really doing it. So I have to be careful about. I mean, the plan is to learn them extremely well, like develop very good foundations, basically. So I don't think I'll be sloppy. But definitely in my accompaniment job, I was frequently forced to be sloppy, basically. That feels a little bit better. Again, these longer runs where I'm putting the fourth finger over, it's just about creating the right feeling, and then which involves playing around with your wrist and arm a little bit. And my fingers are doing what they need to do. I'm still not happy with this at the moment. I've got a little bit of tension. I've noticed creeping in to my upper back. So. This is quite hard to control when you're fully relaxed. I think the main thing is the fourth finger over, just that contraction there and passing the hand over. Just controlling that, which I'm not enjoying as much as I would like. Just gonna go back and forth a little bit and just work on that. measure are you on right now? This is, oh, this does not have bar numbers, but this is, what is it, 3, what is it, 4, 8, 12, 16, 19, 25, 28, 31, 34, 35, 36, 37, measure 37. It's just before the recapitulation, basically, of this. What's a Chopin? I'm beginning Peter, 6 months. My goal is mastering the Chopin method. It's a remarkable feat. Any wisdom to share? Do you mean just master the Chopin Etudes? Is that what you mean? I guess that's the only thing I can kind of think of with regard to the method. Okay. At least finally my left hand is actually an arm. It feels warmed up, so that's good. It's not as stiff as it was before. Yeah, still. I need to get more comfortable with that particular arpeggio, but that's okay. I have time. Okay, try that again. Oh, whoops, wrong one. school to do that. There's a book called Chopin Pianist and Teacher, which has a lot of information about about his style of teaching, playing, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, very good book. I'm not sure if that's kind of what you're talking about, but I know he definitely had different theories on playing than Liszt. Like, they had very contrasting theories on how to actually, play the piano. Chopin was very much about a higher wrist action and lighter touch. I suppose a Liszt who kind of liked to play heavy. I never learned it. My teacher just tells me not to have flat fingers. It depends. Sometimes flat-ish fingers are useful. Definitely not for classical music. Classical music is kind of, and Baroque is very much about that kind of shape, hand position. For romantic music, we started to incorporate more flat finger technique, because we want to basically, we're not lightly playing over the keys all the time. We're actually, we have a lot more control over the sound than we did with earlier keyboards and earlier music. So we need more depth, basically, when playing. Have you been playing for a while? Oh. All right. I'm going to try and do this a little bit quicker. Okay, well, that one's actually going all right now at this point. Just took me ages to warm up. No questions for me, so that's okay. Should I do any more on this at the moment? I do actually want to go back and look at this section, because I do still struggle a little bit with this section. This particular transition here I find a little bit awkward because there's two different chords going on there in this kind of like long arpeggio. I find it just a bit too easy to hit a wrong note at the moment. Okay, just back to here again. Hello there. Hello, Scummo. How's it going? Oh. Okay, a little bit quicker. Wrong notes. It's going so well as well. I should actually use my pedal, shouldn't I? I'm really out of the habit of using that. We'll go from... Also, this bit, I don't know why it's... I don't feel like it's that hard, but it still kind of trips me up. Like there's something clunky about it at the moment. And that's why, I know it is, it's these contractions. Expansions, basically. I just realized, Scummo, do you play piano? Yeah, Scummo plays piano. I'm good, thanks. Today is actually going alright. things feel okay today. I feel like there has been some improvement. Yeah, Scummo likes to play piano and also likes to write music. Dear God, yeah, he plays a lot. This is where I wish my hand was bigger. flat major. Dear God. Okay, do I want to keep playing this piece? What's the time? 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. I have about an hour and a bit left, so I think I should move on. I can do Opus 25 number 5 maybe next, and then Opus 10 number 4. Something like that. Maybe we'll do that order. Okay, so this is Opus 25, number 5. Oops. Can you turn the sound up for your voice? Yeah, I really need to integrate the two chats. I've got Twitch chat as well as obviously the YouTube live chat, and I do have an app that's meant to integrate them, but I haven't been able to get it to work yet. So I need to spend some time actually figuring out how to do that. Opus 25, number 9. God, what is that one? Is that a butterfly or something? I don't know it anyway, whatever it is. I think it's butterfly. I will, I'll know it eventually. E sharp minor. There's also C flat major as well. Okay, I'm going to do this opening section, just play it through slowly, without pedal, basically. Two awful things. That's correct. Yeah, wrong note is actually really nice etude. Mainly because of the middle section. The outside sections are just kind of like, yeah, they're kind of quirky. You should also include Scriabin's Etude Opus 8 number 12. Do you mean me? No, this is the Kawaii Novice NV10S. I think I typed it further up, but I'll type it again. It's since been superseded by the NV12, so you can no longer purchase this one from Kawaii, although there's still, I think there's still like leftover stock or something in some places. So the NV12 is like the upgraded one. Okay, middle section. This is why I do not think this etude is easy. These movements, horizontal movements, are very tricky to control. I don't really know the notes that well. NU1. That's the that is the upright hybrid digital, right? From memory. Yamaha C5, nice. I actually also have a Yamaha C5. I have an old one. It's down at my parents' house because I can't put it in this apartment, obviously. But it was from the early 90s, and then I purchased it, or my parents purchased it when I was growing up, and it was restored, and the restorer did like an amazing job. So it's from that generation of like really nice Yamaha C series when they were still using like great materials and things. They've since changed the way they manufacture them, so I was really lucky to get one of them, and the restorer, the guy who restored it, did like a really cool job. So really like the piano, but I can't use it because there's no way I can have it in this apartment. Reminds me of this one part in Chopin's Second Blood. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. The descending stuff. This stuff There's a lot of that in the fast section of the second ballade. Obviously, this is in a major key. The ballade's in minor key, but it's similar finger work, passage work. Can you play Prelude 1, 9, or 23? You're talking about Chopin preludes. I don't know how to play them. I've actually never studied those. They're kind of like one of these things where I don't want to learn the whole set because I don't like all of them enough, if that makes sense. At least not at the moment. I don't appreciate all of them enough. Whereas at least with the Chopin Etudes, I largely like all of them. And I see like obviously a lot of benefit in like, you know, practical benefits learning these. So the case for the Etudes is stronger than the preludes for me. So yeah, I've never studied the preludes, never learned a single one of them actually. But I mean, obviously I've like sight read through some of the easier ones, like the E minor, the A major, A minor, like those kind of ones which, you know, very sight readable, but have basically never learned them. Raindrop, obviously. This little bit here, it's actually going a lot better. But anyone here played Prokofiev Suggestion? Yeah, number 9, 9th prelude is the one after A major, right? The F sharp minor one, is it? Is it that one? Anyone here played? No, I have not. But I know a friend who's played it. That's about all I got. But those things are cool. I like those. Cool pieces. They were actually on my radar to learn at some point, but never got around to it. Opus 10 number 8. Haven't started that one yet. But I will at some point. That's about all I can promise. The one I added, I added 2 most recently. I added Opus 10 number 9, and then I also kind of added Opus 10 number 1. Like I'm revisiting essentially, because Opus 10 number 1 I've learnt before, and then yesterday I was like, I have some more time, and I actually feel like I can add another one at this point. And someone in chat was like, Opus 10 number 1, and I was like, do I want to dig that up just now? Yeah, I decided to add it in because I was interested to see how I would approach it, because I haven't performed it in like, I don't know, almost 20 years. So it was interesting to revisit it and see how it felt and what was difficult, still difficult, less difficult, and the ideas I brought to it that I definitely did not know 20 years ago when I was doing it. So yeah, I might actually get onto that one in a sec. But I just need to run over the last section of this etude because I don't want to neglect going over the notes at least. So I don't find this section particularly hard. It's just I just need to learn it basically and make sure I'm consistent. Oops. What are these notes? I think I have to do thumb there. Those stretches are too big. Hello. So many people saying hi. Hello. Opus 10 number 1. Maybe I'll do Opus 10 number 1 next, because otherwise I might forget because I only just added it in. So okay. Still at the moment. So this one, story with this one, I learnt it during undergraduate, I think in first year undergrad. When I was like, I don't know, 18 years old or something. I found it difficult. It was more difficult than I thought it would be. And the only Chopin Etude I'd played before this was Winter Wind. So I learned Winter Wind at actually a very young age. Like I think I started it when I was like 14 or something. Although these days there are like kids that are like 5 years old playing it, so that's not really anything. And then I was surprised because I thought Opus 10 number 1 would be easier than Winter Wind, but it was not. And so I struggled with it a bit because also I have quite small hands, whereas Winter Wind you can have small hands, it's okay. So yeah, it just means when you have small hands you need to do other things to compensate. So you need more rotation, You make sure you're always relaxed, you're not tensing up. That's even more important when you have small hands, because you need loose fingers, loose muscles to actually get the reaches in. Oh. Anyway, here I am, like 20 years later. Obviously, I'm not going to play it too fast at the moment, but there are passages I can play a little bit faster because it's not too tricky. But the bass always sonorous and sustained. This one, this is an arpeggio that I still hate, but I've reapproached how I'm going to do it. Basically, before I was going like around the black keys and then twisting my wrist like this and then having to flip my pinky up and do this. It was not working, so I'm now going like having the hand further into the keyboard, just going over the black keys essentially, but then having to do a small jump like that. So something sounds off. I don't know what. Is the pitch off again? I'm pretty sure I fixed the pitch. Like it shouldn't. There was a conflict yesterday again. Maybe the day before, where I was at 44.1 on like the Windows settings and 48K on the OBS streaming app. So it was dropping basically the pitch by like a semitone or more. Hopefully it's not the problem today, because it should be fixed. If it's not, I'm gonna rage. Starting octave C, and it sounds different. I just tied the starting octave C. Do you mean in the first bar, this? There's like, this one has like some weird suggestions in it. It says you can play this, and then you can also play this in the next bar, or something like that. But I remember the version I learned just had this tied for 2 bars. So I don't know. I have the Quarto edition now. Okay, that one's okay. So this one, I think, is definitely going to cause me some problems, I think. So I'll have to spend a bit of time with this one. That one's also a little bit awkward. Okay. So some of this stuff here has become a little bit easier than it used to be. Like this one, for instance. And I think that's just because I'm more relaxed. I'm not trying to brute force the piece like I was in the past. The pitch is off. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Sorry, I misinterpreted you in your first sentence. The pitch, yeah, okay, so the pitch has dropped again. Okay, great. I'm gonna have to reset the pitch on the on the window settings again. it keeps changing. And I thought I checked a setting to stop it changing. At least that's what Gemini told me. So basically what I'm doing is I'm, applying the new setting to 48K, and then next time, relax your muscles and elbows in. You'll have to tell me for which part. Yeah, and then the next time I open OBS or next time I restart my computer, the settings in Windows just go back to 44.1 for some reason. And I checked a setting to say don't let other applications change this setting, but it keeps changing. So yeah, I don't know. Unsure. Disco here, super good, bro. Suck it. Piano is just damn hard. What do you mean the pitch off? Are you a different tune? I am not at a different. Well, okay, my piano is not at a different tuning. It's going into the feed, so the YouTube stream. Likely a semitone below, probably, or more. Yeah, that's what I think. He's playing his, where is it? This guy. Where's the guy? I suck at piano. No, I'm sure you don't. I'm sure your playing is exquisite. What do you mean that pitch? Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, I think I've answered all the questions. Okay. This. So the one that I'm struggling with is the A major one as well. So this one. That one. So on the way down, you're playing. You've got a stretch between the fifth and the fourth finger, and the fourth finger has to go between the B flat and the A flat, or the whatever, G sharp and A sharp, and play the A. And at high tempo, you've got this you've got a contraction here, and then a little expansion, and your fourth finger just has to be accurate, and it's really damn hard for the fourth finger to just fit in there and not hit one of those notes to either side. Either hit the G sharp or the A sharp. So I'm gonna have to really practice this one just a lot. New ways of course to tune in. And because it's down at 4:30 or something. Oh my god. Yeah, so this, I feel like I'm going to spend a lot of time just practicing, finding ways to practice this arpeggio. I wonder if that, I know the core toe exercises recommend this, and I'm not sure how I feel about those, but in this instance it might be useful. Just because I feel like what they essentially do is encourage a static hand when you're doing that, whereas a lot of the arpeggios need you to expand more gradually and contract more gradually. So, but just depends on how big your hand is as well, as to whether these are useful. Oh, there we go, nailed it. And didn't nail it. Okay, this part here is quite straightforward, and it's very fun. It's a cycle of fifths. That one as well. There's a few things to fix up, but it's okay. It's otherwise not sounding too bad. Judy also likes to sing, especially in the shower. So it's, yeah, so he's really kind of like jammed in positions that your body gets into, your elbow, and that you just kind of have to be comfortable with. Because this is not an ideal position. Like, no one wants to play piano like this, but there's actually no other option really. You can move your body more out of the way, and like move your body this way and back, but that's about all you can do. Accompaniment stuff. Me? Hello Manish. How's the gym? Accompaniment stuff recently. Yes. So I still do. I still kind of keep in touch with the sort of the school scene a little bit. Basically, I know like private teachers for different instruments that ask me to accompany their students for exams and concerts, and depending on who it is, I'm very happy to, because some of the teachers have like really generally like run a very tight ship, and they have good students who are well prepared, you know, good kids and stuff. So I actually quite like that. And I like working with those teachers, so it's nice. The gigs I've done, I played with a violinist. Probably the most noticeable one is I played with a violinist at the Opera House in the recital room, so not the main concert hall, in the recital room. So that was fun. Crash learnt a whole lot of repertoire. Like within about a month and a half or something, I just learnt like an hour and something of repertoire and performed it in front of like 200 people. So that was an interesting experience. But one thing I can do now is learn fairly quickly. But like learning quickly and then having to perform in a high pressure situation is not ideal. It's not my most fun thing to be doing. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's nice. I am also taking a rest day today from gym, so I'll do some gym tomorrow. Okay. Which one do I want to work on? That's right. This one. This awful thing. So there we go. There's no great way to get up there and then join it to the other notes. I don't know what the best solution is here. Like, it's not the hardest thing to do, it just never feels that comfortable. So, like, there are definitely harder parts in this, but, Okay. I think I need more conscious stretch there between the D sharp and the G. So when I and make sure I actually really focus on hitting that D sharp, not just hoping for the best, I suppose, which I tend to do. That's better. There we go. The wrong part of the piece. Okay, so it's okay. This part also, this bar is is a bit nasty. It's kind of a similar to one of the earlier bars, but it's actually got two different chords in there, and they're both a bit awkward. So I got that one and then this one. Again, the fourth finger has to be quite accurate because it's got a black note next to it there, which is very easy to hit. My thoughts with this one, like coming back to it, is I'm going to spend most of my time on about 4 or 5 bars, basically. And then the rest of it seems okay. So, yeah, those are just my initial thoughts with this. I think my technique is holding up pretty well for the piece. It's just I need to spend a lot of time on a few bars which are just a lot more awkward than the rest of them. But that'll be useful because I'm a much better problem solver than I used to be in terms of how to work out, you know, basically technical difficulties, how to work through them. Whereas I used to just kind of brute force a bit too much in the past. Okay, this here is a little bit awkward. That's okay. Good morning. Hello, Kat. Nice to see you again. I started quite early today, so I'm like, I think I'm like 2 hours in at this point, and I have like an hour or so to go, I suppose. Yeah, around that much. And after this, I just have 2 more to look at. Okay. I want to have a quick look back at some of those nastier bars. But mostly this one I think will be okay. It's interesting to revisit it. And then, yeah, it gives me a little bit of confidence. one. Damn it. There we go. This is a little bit uneven because of how large that 1-2 stretch is and how much that's kind of throwing everything off. Because when I expand it and then contract it again, it's like such a dramatic difference that there and there. So I need to smooth that out a little bit. And again, my elbow is like jammed right up, so I need to probably give myself a bit more space. I don't know how I'm going to remember all these body positions. Twitch, nice to see you've got YouTube for the better quality. Oh, is YouTube actually better quality than Twitch, is it? That's interesting. But yeah, thanks for dropping by on YouTube. I recently discovered how to stream on both because I started on YouTube and then someone said, why don't you stream on Twitch? And I was like, I didn't know I could at the same time because I am a piano player, not someone who is like technologically literate at all. Musicians are notorious for being, like, especially classical musicians, we have no idea what we're doing in terms of technology. Basically, our degrees were spent on this sort of keyboard, not on the other one. So yeah, I didn't like own a laptop or anything during most of my study years. I don't think I even owned a laptop. I had a desktop at home, but yeah, rarely used. I was not keeping up on that front. Okay, that's feeling a little bit better now. Go, and then this one. Okay, this is not particularly hard, it's just matter of learning it basically. And at the moment it feels just a bit foreign. There's so many different variations of hand positions in this etude. It's better quality and unlimited VOD storage. You can run higher bitrate on YouTube. Ah, okay. Oh, interesting. So is Twitch restricted to 44.1 in terms of the audio? Because that might be causing the problems when basically my Windows settings keep changing to 44.1. Focus on getting the tension to a minimum, looking pretty smooth and even so far. Yeah, I'm obsessed with getting tension out of myself, but it's one of those things I've struggled with because I grew up most of my early years. I didn't have a teacher that dealt with my tension issues, and so it became a problem. Oh, okay, okay, cool. Oh yeah, bit rate is something else. It's tough. But yeah, tension very quickly creeps in because yeah, you've got a lot to think about. So there's a lot of mental strain, and then also like technical, sort of like you're being stretched all the time technically, and so your body's reaction to that is to basically just tense up. Is what we do, because yeah, it's like the fight or flight syndrome, right? It's like this is hard, danger, body tenses up. This is a slightly tricky bar. There's a few awkward moments in this particular area. Yeah, I actually did. I actually did start yoga a little while back, but then I went away like twice, and then dropped the habit. But I'm traveling again. Actually leave on Sunday, and then I arrive in Mexico City on Monday morning, super early. So I might actually look to book that in while I'm there, and still need to figure out how I'm going to do online content in Mexico. I have a roll-up keyboard that someone left here, which is hilarious. And I was like, maybe I take the roll-up keyboard and then do like a meme stream about how to practice Chopin Etudes on a roll-up keyboard. But I don't know how popular that would be, or how beneficial. Unsure. But I'll probably definitely look into restarting yoga while I'm over in Mexico for a few weeks. Okay, those are starting to feel a little bit better. I don't want to practice this too fast at the moment, like this particular section, because I feel like I will undo a lot of my kind of like groundwork today. So I just want to make sure I'm relaxed, accurate, hitting the right notes. I guess that's accurate. But just that I'm aware of what my body's doing, and to repeat that essentially. Find that it feels good, and then keep repeating that feeling essentially. Someone asked me how long I've been playing for. I have been playing for 35 years now, basically. So that is where I'm at these days. Yeah, it's been a while, but I spent way too long, I think, in the education scene, because Sydney is not great for live classical performance, especially especially on piano. Like we have orchestras and stuff, so if you're good, if you're a very good instrumentalist that can go into an orchestra, there are jobs, but like Sydney Symphony Orchestra or something. But yeah, in terms of like for piano players, like the work here is basically like non-existent. There's basically no full-time jobs for piano players in Sydney, so you have to do a lot of scrounging essentially, and a lot of a mixed bag of career. So I unfortunately let my technical skills and form drop a little bit, obviously, while I was in education. So now I'm trying to reinvigorate that. Okay, I might just skip to this. So this passage is not too tricky, but I'm a bit sloppy with it. I need to just be careful when the note changes. So you've got the C and then the B. Split notes. I don't know, there's no reason for this. Because this is not difficult, it's just, again, just so many different variations of hand positions. And I'm probably being a little bit lazy in terms of I'm just kind of throwing my finger down sometimes and not controlling where it goes, or I just haven't done the practice. Correct practice on it. Okay, that's feeling a bit better. Do you like Eric Liu? Oh, I hope you don't mind that signal. Thanks for your message. Yeah, that's really helpful. I'll check it out for sure. Do you like Eric Liu? I do not know if I know Eric Liu. Do I know Eric Liu? I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, piano in general, like classical piano is a very long road. I think you can play for most of your life and never feel like you're good enough, like you're not as good as you hope to be, I suppose. There's always something more to do, I think. Like, after I finish all of these, right, and then it's like, okay, do I want to develop my technique more? Obviously, this just does not cover enough, probably, for the left hand. So, I mean, there's like the transcendental etudes, the list ones, which are not necessarily harder, unsure. Hard to say. the Chopin Etudes are more exposed, so you need to be more careful with them. With the Liszt Etudes, maybe are just sort of like baseline a little bit harder, but I think these are more scary, whereas the Liszt Etudes maybe are just kind of harder, but then easier to perform. Then of course there's the Godowsky version of these etudes, which then puts like very frequently gets the, you know, whatever the right hand passage work is and goes, okay, I'm going to stick it in the left hand now. And so you have to do these horrific things in the left hand. Winner, oh, okay. Yeah, I actually didn't follow the Chopin competition this year, which is kind of bad. Learn faster, perform better, musician's guide to the neuroscience. Oh, interesting. Cool, thank you. That is no, that is helpful, because I'm always interested to hear about more efficient ways to improve and to practice. So if you think it's you found it very beneficial, I'm sure there's some stuff in there that I could use. Do you like mean time, mean tone? As in like quarter comma, mean tone, that kind of thing. It's quirky. Okay, I'm just going to run over this passage again because I want to just reiterate that feeling. I don't play a lot of I don't play mean tone music. This one. Okay. Is that correct? Ah, there we go. Whoops. Wrong notes. Okay. Yeah, this I still haven't found a way to do this super smoothly yet. Feels a bit clunky. So okay, good. Okay, there we go. A waltz in A minor, nice. Yeah, like Chopin's ornamentation is fiddly. Like that's one of the things which, like his mazurkas have a lot of this as well, and it takes quite a while to get to get relaxed with it and comfortable, and for it to be effortless. I feel like it's because a lot happens very quickly, right? And it's very easy to lose control and just kind of rip through them a bit and tense up. I need to go to Opus 10 number 4 because I am running out of time. Okay, I'll update. I guess it helps when you can't hear anything, right? Is that a bad joke? Okay. So this one, the state of this one is like semi-learnt, basically. I'm still getting my fingers around a lot of the notes, and a lot of the like patterns and things have not settled. So still figuring out like hand positions. Yeah, just comfort, getting my fingers in the right spots and feeling comfortable with it, and staying relaxed, and not excessive movements, I suppose, with this one, because a lot of it's very, very closed hand position. So anyway, let's see. I'm just going to start by going through slowly. There we go. Yeah, I'm already getting tension here, which is crazy. Why is the pedal not working? Bluetooth pedals has been very troublesome. Okay. this cough. Apologies. Okay. That one is a bit awkward. That's better. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I find the word talent such a funny one. I'm not sure. I don't know. I've not settled on that word. Because I don't know exactly know what it means. I think what I've come to sort of maybe associate it with now is it's like you are willing to do you're interested enough in something and willing to do the work, and the problem solving, I suppose, and stick with it long enough. Basically, I think that's the way I kind of sum up talent. So I think natural ability is a funny one, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what natural ability is exactly. Obviously, there's like physical advantages for sports and things like that, and for piano, like big hands and things are nice. But there's a lot more, I think, like mental aptitude, and whether you actually just care enough about what you're doing, and then developing the discipline for it. Yeah, this one does have a lot of notes. My understanding is that this one is quite hard, but it's not as bad as it sounds. So I'm hopeful. At the moment, it still feels hard. I think it just takes a while to establish comfort with something that's, you know, new and difficult, obviously. And once you do establish that comfort and sort of things click, then I heard this one does actually become quite manageable. Whoops. Telling it's how quick people can pick things up. They still got to work hard, but the hard work is someone who is evident. Yeah, no, it's true. I definitely agree with that part. It's just like, it's like, I wonder why they pick things up quicker. And how does one define that? Oh, like obviously they're better problem solvers, right? I think that's probably the gist of it. So they notice what works more quickly, and then they can apply it and figure out solutions to things, difficulties more quickly. Interesting. I like having these discussions. It's always interesting to get new perspectives on, I don't know, kind of like philosophical ideas, I suppose. When you've got 9-year-olds playing virtual pieces, problem solving ain't even a part of it. It's not there, just instinct, the body. Yeah, true. I did think about that as well. I was like, how do these kids work this stuff out? Because for me, I feel like it's a lot of mental energy spent. Like, for instance, I have to learn the thirds etude soon. This one. Which I am kind of dreading slightly because it's it's hard. It's like it's long and hard, and there's so much repetition in that one. But there's like a 6-year-old kid or something playing it on YouTube. I'm like, holy crap! Like, because this etude is like famously difficult. Like, it's either this one or the A minor one, which people kind of think of as the most difficult one. But and she does a really good job. I'm like, okay, what happened here? So obviously you need a really good teacher to be on top of that. But the kid has to be pretty obsessed with practicing. Definitely you can have those days where you're just like, this piece is just going downhill, for sure. And at which point it's not a bad idea to just take a break from it for a little while and come back with a fresh perspective. So, if you need to take a couple of weeks or something off, and even is not a bad idea. It's long enough. Indeed. unfortunately I have small hands, and you know what they say about small hands. There's actually there's a story of my reach is comfortably a ninth, and a tenth is like I have to go down the sides of the keys basically to do a tenth. If I go over the top of the keys, I split notes. So yeah, there's a story about these parents that raised these two girls to be like world champion chess players. And yeah, basically it was like an experiment for them. Like, I know it sounds slightly sadistic, but they just made the girls' entire lives around chess. So like they had posters in their rooms, and like from a very young age, and everything was set up in the household so the girls would just think about chess essentially all the time. And they'll play each other, they'll play with the parents, whatever. And yeah, the girls thought like it was basically the only thing worth doing in the world, I think. And so they spent a ton of time doing it, and it worked. They both, at different stages, I think, became like the best chess player in the world. So I wonder if something like that is going on with these kids, where they're just raised in an environment where piano is the only thing that matters, basically. And so they spend, I don't know, 8 hours a day practicing or something. Asian culture is highly strict. Yes, but there's a difference between like strictness and creating an obsession, I suppose. Like, one thing is like, yeah, you make your kids do this, and they have that discipline. That can only like work so far. Otherwise, they start to resent you. I've certainly seen that happen. I think this is different. This is like creating an absolute obsession around one thing, and the kids just like are hyper focused on it, and nothing else matters to them. As an example, there's a story of a couple of kids that are younger than me. They were twins, actually, and they were practicing 5 hours a day each. I think they each had their own grand pianos in the house, and they were like, I don't know, practicing 5 hours a day at like 7 years old, kind of thing. And so they were completing like their highest levels in the exam system by the time they were like 12. So it's not prodigy level, because the prodigies are kind of doing this stuff when they're like 7, kind of thing, 7 or 8. But that was a culture that was very strict, and then the kids ended up rebelling against the mother. And it's quite sad, actually. They kind of like, I think one of them moved out early or something, and then one of them quit, the other one quit, and I think one of them is now still doing piano, but there was big family issues around all of that. So, but I mean, they were like highly successful, like really well-known kids. Everyone knew, they were at the top of, the piano scene in Sydney, and but then big family issues because they didn't appreciate the strictness that much in the end. So. This, did I get it right? Nope. Yeah, it is. And that is definitely gonna, like, that will be a challenge, I think, for anyone, is how to, it's not something that I would be looking forward to, is like how to manage your kids, growth on something like this, and make sure they don't hate it, but also make sure that they actually develop it well. This bit. Oop, that's not correct. Okay. Yeah, the left hand. I do not have kids. No, I do not. Maybe in a few years. Yeah. The speed of this one is the most challenging part, actually. So that's why I'm making sure I do really good like fundamentals with this, because I know that at speed things are going to go awry quickly. So I want to make sure that I develop like the comfort and the feeling with this, and then translate that to, as I increase the tempo, then I'm not taking shortcuts. Basically with these kind of jumps, really it's about getting out of the keys. You don't want to go down into them. You kind of, you're pulling away and jumping where you need to go. So you actually, the way I do it is like pulling up towards the keys and going horizontal straight to the next note, and then resting there. And then same thing, up and then you use that impetus to actually get yourself to the next note and rest on it. So you're always there early. You're not landing on the note as you're playing it. you're coming to rest on it early and then jumping out of it, like that. But it's just a feeling that takes a while to develop if you don't have this. So it's just worth practicing, and then yeah, it becomes a lot easier essentially. Yeah, frog jumping. Yeah, it's a little bit like that. But it becomes infinitely easier than like going like this, where you're going down into each note and then having to come up and then go down to the next note. Yeah, so oops. So you're always there early, basically. And then hopefully you have more control as well. I mean, you do have more control. So I am thinking of, so I've got a couple of options. I can add in a new etude, maybe. I also have to do Opus 25 number 9, but that one is very straightforward. It takes very little time. I don't want to add in Opus 25 number 6 yet. I'm just giving myself a break so I don't destroy my right hand between Opus 10 number 1, 2 and 25 number 6. So I'm thinking maybe I could add in something like the butterfly etude, or so either Opus 25 number 8 or 9 was what I was thinking, because they're quite different to anything I've got going at the moment. If anyone has a preference between Opus 25 number 8 or 9, let me know. So number 9 is this one. I've never looked at this one. Oh my god. So that's the butterfly etude, we'll nickname that anyway. I've heard that Chopin hated these nicknames. This is number 8, the 6ths. These are both new etudes for me, so they're going to be very foreign. Number 9, yeah, I mean number 9 is probably catchier, right? I think it's a better way to go also because number 8, from what I've heard anecdotally, is it's like a really good piece to warm up with, and I've got another piece for that at the moment. So which is Opus 25 number 1. So I probably don't need like 2 of those at the moment. So maybe I'll do number 9. And then I have another one from Opus 25, which is good because I only have 2 from Opus 25 at the moment. Okay, Opus 25, number 9. So that means I've now got 8 going, which is not bad. 8 out of 24. So a third of the etudes are currently in operation, basically. That's awkward. Okay, there's only 2 pages this one, it's very short. Oops. This actually has that same kind of jumping idea where you're coming out of the keys and landing on the other note. So I can see how this one gets tiring. So, good thing it's only like a minute long. Okay, and then there is a new section. Oh god, C flats, too many flats. Now we've got double flats, because why not? And then back to the top right, so oops. I remember this part. That was very cool. By remember, I mean I've listened to it. And then, yeah, this is quite tiring on the hand. So, hey, very good to see you've finally risen. Long nap, bro. Don't worry. Sleeping is like the best thing you can do. Sleep as long as you like. Okay. Oh, you mean he slept for like what? When did he die? In 1849 he died, I think. So you mean he slept for like 180 years or something? Is that is that what you mean? Yeah, I think this is actually a really nice etude. I think it's so short and it's not dramatic, obviously, and kind of gets overlooked, I think. Of course, like no one's going to kind of like play this etude, you know, probably out of context unless they're playing quite a few etudes or something. So yeah, I think it just doesn't get heard that much out of context. But I actually really like the way this set is structured, because you have like after the thirds etude, you have the left hand slow etude, so you get a break. Your right hand gets a bit of a rest, and then after that sort of depressing left hand one, you've got the sixths and then the butterfly etude, which are just like very happy etudes. So it's very fun contrast, and then it just goes into like drama basically, and so I think it's really fun to play like the last half of Opus 25, just the way it's all structured, and then there's the Octaves etude, then Winter Wind, and then the Ocean etude at the end, which is like a really cool way to end all of the etudes. So I feel like he put quite a bit of thought into the structure. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming. And yeah, drop by any time. Where am I going? I'll go from the top again. So, do I want to add the left hand? Maybe I will. Okay, and then oops. Need to remember to relax. Oh my god, notes. What's wrong with my sight reading today? Cool, and then back to the beginning-ish. Yeah, it's actually really fun. Like today is, like yesterday was quite quiet, and today is like totally different. As people are very chatty today. Like I had quite a few people drop by yesterday, but no one seemed very talkative. And then one guy came on and was like, "Wow, it's dead in here." I was like, "Oh, thanks." Yeah, I guess it is a little bit, but I mean. Either way, I like chatting and I like practicing, so I'm going to do it, regardless of people are turning up and chatting or whatever, I'm still going to be practicing. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun, like having like discussions, because some people actually also are quite helpful. Like they say, this, you should try this or something. And so the sharing the ideas stuff is also really good as well for the learning process. I think I'm also in a better mental mood than I was yesterday as well. I was a little bit, I don't know, just maybe not sleeping super well, and I was just like, I'll go and practice now, and then didn't feel that chatty, I suppose. So I wasn't initiating a whole lot of things either. Definitely with me, I do feed off other people as well. This is actually good to look at. I feel like this one won't be that hard to learn, and I had no idea whether it will be or not. I just knew I had to learn it at some point, basically. But yeah, it doesn't look super tricky, which is nice. This is first glance though, and obviously it goes a lot quicker than this. Why would I do that? Fourth finger, I think? Yeah, fourth finger. Stuff I'm trying to work on are trills, arpeggios, octaves, jumping. Feel free to go over those the course of your streams. I'm here for the knowledge talking. Cool, happy to. Thanks, good. Yeah, watching you really gives me motivation practice. I think it's kind of about that actually. I know when I've been in a community, like I went to a piano course again, like 20 years ago. It was like a camp, 3-week camp in Fort Worth in Texas. And back then there was very little, like there were no devices, right? And we had like good community, and all of us just practiced like, I don't know, at least 7 hours a day or more, because everyone was doing it. So once you're in like some sort of community, it's very beneficial in terms of like what you want to achieve. And so that's kind of why I'm like I'm doing this partly for accountability and for me to be more invested in, you know, in the music community basically, and enjoy that as well. Songs without words are other pieces I'm working on. Songs without words are quite tricky actually. I wouldn't say they're easy. Some of them are quite tricky. I've taught some of them, but I've not played them. But they've definitely got their traps. And Mendelssohn has he has a habit of, like, you know, separating the hand into two parts sometimes. So you've got to play the melody in one part of the hand and other stuff in the other part of the hand, and it's kind of awkward. Like it's not easy, and to play them well for sure. Trills, arpeggios, octaves, jumping. Well, this one has some jumping. But yeah, with the jumping, I don't know if you caught that earlier. Basically, you want to get there early, so as early as possible. So and also horizontal, not vertical, and you want to come out of the keys. Use that impetus out of the keys to get to where you need to go. Rest, relax, and then up out of the keys again if you need to go back, you know. So it's like that rather than like that, if that makes sense. So it's a pulling action. But this one has that action. It just doesn't have, you know, large jumps as such. But yeah, with the jumping, it's about getting there early, basically. Resting on the new note and then executing the new note. And then use that note to then bounce to the next one and get there early. Oops. And don't go too vertical. As soon as you start going too vertical, you lose time and you lose control. So yeah, just think of it as like a horizontal movement, basically. Feels very alien, so I stopped. Yeah, I'll give it another try tomorrow. I already practiced 5 hours today. Dear God, 5 hours is more than I'm practicing at the moment. Well done. That is motivating. How much more do I want to spend? I'm okay with that one. I think I should get on to Opus 10 number 9, and just run over that quickly, because my plan is still to cover everything every day, just so I think that's quite essential when I'm learning music, that I need to actually cover it every day. Once I've learnt the etudes, then I'm happy with them, relatively happy with them. I can, you know, and I have a lot to get through. I'm happy to sort of do a bunch of them every other day, but definitely in the learning phase and when you're developing them, technically, like when you're still not super comfortable, you need to be doing stuff every day. Ideally twice a day. Like you don't want to just do one session of practice. But at the moment, I'm kind of doing that one session. Oops. Yeah, it's hard for me to split my practice into two at the moment because of the work stuff and other things I got later, and I have a housemate that I don't want to annoy as well at nighttime, where he's like, can I move around here? Am I allowed to be here? So I don't want to make him feel like he's stuck in his room or something. Even though I told him he could do whatever he wants, I don't mind. Practice my attention. Yeah, I honestly, my attention span is deteriorated as well, and it's just living in this age that it's really hard to avoid. Basically, you know, devices killing our ability to stay focused. I think Black Keys is approachable for intermediate level pianist. Depend. I don't know how to define intermediate. You'll have to tell me some of the other pieces that you are comfortable with at the moment. Surely there's something to learn that you can take with you and revisit. Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? The thing is, it depends what you want to achieve with it. If you're like, can I perform it comfortably, you know, in a live setting right now? That's different to, can I just play it, you know, at a tempo that's, you know, maybe not quite up to speed, but, you know, comfortable for me in my home. That's a very different scenario as well. And for sure, yeah, I think it's good to also push yourself with things that are noticeably harder, as long as you don't work yourself into a tension trap. So that's the one thing about tackling stuff that's very much above your level, is you need to be very diligent about how you practice it, basically. I've hit some pieces I just can't do. It's great coming back to it later on and settling. Yeah, for sure. And often also the other thing is you revisit, like you take a break from something and then you come back to it. And you work a lot of things out. Your brain just keeps working on it. So it's often if you hit a wall with a piece, just leave it for a few weeks or something. Don't practice it. Just go and do other things, and then come back to it, and you'll find that your brain has kind of worked some stuff out, and also you haven't been sort of practicing bad habits every day, if that makes sense. So you give yourself a fresh perspective on it. Yeah, but if you let us know some of the other pieces you're playing as well, that would help a lot in terms of defining, you know, intermediate, basically. Where am I at? Whoops, wrong one. So I think, I don't actually know what an intermediate pianist is. I would have no idea how to answer that. Like, beginner is fairly obvious. It's like, okay, I've just started out. I've been playing for like, you know, less than a year basically. But anything after that, like, I don't know where does intermediate start? I'm trying to, and where does intermediate end? Because the problem is piano is like such a long path. Like the amount of time it takes to become like an advanced pianist. Like even playing these etudes, like I could play, you know, for example, like I think I mentioned earlier, I could play Winter Wind when I was 14 years old, but I don't feel like I was an advanced piano player at that point. So it's like, yeah, I don't know how to answer it. It's very strange. Philip Glass opening piece. Took me a solid 4 days. We got the damn 3/2 polyrhythm. Yep, polyrhythms. Yeah, they take time. This one has some awful polyrhythms too. It's 5 against 6, which is just like, God, do I like, what am I doing here, kind of thing. Okay. It's happens a few times in the piece as well. And then it's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 against 4 and 5 against 6 is very common. Like, it happens a few times in this piece. So some nice fun polyrhythms here. Those. That one was not so convincing. That's better. Anyway, it'll come. I'm more worried about just the left hand in general. If you play this is Waltz in A minor, where is it going? Well, a lot to catch up on. Waltz in A minor, working on the trilly stupid bits. Yeah. Yeah, yep. Understand. Crazy rhythm, God, how it's... Mozart Sonata in C major. Which Mozart C major? There's at least two. Rack 2 Sonata. Ballade 2 Chopin, I'm guessing. And something. Dumka, Tchaikovsky Dumka. That's fun. Yeah. Never played. I've played Rack 2 Sonata. I've played the second Ballade, the Chopin, and I have not played Dumka. I've never quite clicked with Tchaikovsky. I don't know what it is. I find his writing just, like all of his writing, I find is not, like, it's just a bit weird. Like it doesn't flow, or like the textures are not super clean all the time, and so I don't know what it is. There's something about Tchaikovsky that I'm like, this is not quite satisfying. But he knew how to write melodies, right? Like he could write a good melody. Dumka is a fun piece though. I'm trying to think if I've actually played anything by Tchaikovsky, and I think the answer is no. I've never played anything. I'm pretty sure I've never played anything by Tchaikovsky. I have taught one of the seasons, which I like. Okay, give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna have like a 30-second break, and then I'm gonna run over. My the 3 pieces I can play, and then I'll have to probably end the stream. So I'll be back. One thing actually, because you mentioned the second concerto. Okay. Sonata is also nice. I was gonna say the first rack sonata is really cool. Has one of the most fun climaxes, I think, in the first movement that you can play on piano. Basically, it has an amazing climax in the first movement, just like all over the piano, and like an amazing build up as well. Very fun. And the second movement of the first sonata is really beautiful. Very kind of like very atmospheric and polyphonic as well, but very beautiful. And then the third movement is super fun. Like, it's just very fun to play. It's like the whole the story. Like, there is actually like a story behind the first sonata, which Rachmaninoff did tell someone at some point. It's based on Faust. So you've got three movements. One is dedicated to, the first movement is about Faust and his relationship, well, sort of like his inner turmoil or whatever, and then Gretchen appears at the end, and then the second movement is more about Gretchen, and then the third movement is about Mephisto chasing, I think, Faust on a horse. He's like on a horse, so it's like a horse inspired like feeling in the third movement, and then has flashbacks to the previous movements. It's a very cohesive sonata, and very fun, and people barely play it because it's so long, and it's difficult. It's long, and the first time you hear it, maybe it's not super approachable, but like honestly, you see it, if you see it live, you're like, holy crap, that piece is like full on. But maybe if you just listen to it the first time, maybe a lot of it will just be less attractive than, I'm not sure. I really like the material of the first sonata, like all of the themes and the structure, obviously the references to the Faust are very cool. It's got the Désiré theme in it, which it belts out in the third movement, which is very fun. Yeah, check it out anyway. Not many people know it, but first Rachmaninoff sonata. And also the Rach cello sonata is one of my favorite things as well. First concerto. Yeah, Black Keys definitely fits in that range. Aeolian Harp. I think Aeolian Harp is more beneficial to begin with than Black Keys, I would say. Aeolian Harp is very good for encouraging good habits, basically, around relaxation, managing tension, and general good hand-arm movements. So I think maybe start with Aeolian Harp, and it's just a really nice etude. Okay, I'm going to start with, should I start with Opus 10 number 2? I'll do that. Okay. See if I can still actually play this. It was going quite well before. All right. I've lost the feeling a bit. Okay, my right hand went a bit cold, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do a much better job than that right now. Okay, Opus 10 number 12. Oh, you've got Rack 2 on YouTube? That's kind of cool. With orchestra? or with like a backing track or with a second piano. Oh, thanks. Yeah, overstand number 2. It didn't feel fine. I think that it's probably sounded okay. I guess it did sound okay, but it did not feel okay. And it needs to go faster. And yeah, there's some issues there, unevenness and things like that. But it's definitely improved a lot, like in the time, whatever day this is, 17 or something. So yeah, for sure, it's improving. Okay, Opus 10, number 12. See how this one goes. I need to stay very focused on my body in this one because I let it get tense. One sec. Oh, this is a problem when pieces are in this phase. You make improvements and then it quickly disappears. Okay. Okay, that was all right. Any questions. Should get more viewers. Thanks. I mean, it's honestly, it's only like day 17. I barely started. I think, I mean, it takes a while for YouTube to actually care about you. So, like I'm very happy with how everything's going at the moment. And part of the stream is just my own accountability and building building a community to also, which also helps. I mean, it helps me naturally as well. So there's like, you know, I can help other people. That helps me, and because I like educating, I've been educating in education for a long time, so I do have a tendency to actually want to educate as well if I can. But I think, yeah, classical music is definitely niche, but I think it's I think it's one of those things where it is making a comeback because people are starting to turn more and more towards these sort of niche artistic things. I could go into this actually all day. I better not, because I need to actually go. So anyway, this is Opus 25 number 1, but I do think there is a space basically for these sort of niche artistic things going forward, because I think people are going to crave them going into the, you know, more and more saturated AI age where, you know, at least AI can't touch this kind of thing, basically. I am going to finish off with this one, Opus 25 number 1, and then I will have to go, unfortunately. Okay. Hello. Thanks for joining. Yes, I should probably go in a sec. Does anyone have any questions or anything before I head off? Trying to think, is there anything else I want to say? Not really, but it's been fun. Thank you so much. It was a fun stream today. A lot of people came and chatted, and also it's nice that people like answer each other's questions and share things as well, which is really nice. Because sometimes I miss stuff as well. But yeah, thank you so much. I will be back tomorrow, maybe a bit later tomorrow. Unsure, because I have to drive, stay overnight somewhere far tonight, and then either come back late tonight or tomorrow morning. So I might be a little bit later tomorrow. But anyway, thanks so much, and I will see you tomorrow if you can tune in tomorrow. Otherwise, tomorrow, Friday, definitely Friday, and then I'm trying to work out after that. I definitely can't stream Saturday. Anyway, see you all soon.